What on earth is going on with the Clanker token? It's up more than 50% in the last 24 hours. It's now close to $100. What's going on? Who's buying here? Who's selling here? What's behind this rally? Let's have a look at whether or not it still makes sense to buy Clanker at this price. So here is the chart. We are at $97, up 49%, and there's a massive overhang of buyers versus sellers. 56% buyers versus 44% sellers. And some people are taking profit. The buying volume is 51% versus 49% selling. Now, Clanker is a launchpad for meme coins on the base chain. And we all know how well Pump.fun on Solana performed. So the Clanker token is the largest of the bunch. And this is basically a bet of riding the meme coin wave on base, because Pump.fun on Solana is rising to new heights pretty much daily. And there is a lot of liquidity on the base chain as well. Here, have a look at this. This is the change of total value locked in various chains in the last month. And Solana performed pretty well, but so did Base. Yes, we also see the TVL of Bitcoin going up. This is inscriptions. Not all of this is natural, by the way. There is quite a bit of manipulation by the centralized exchanges here. So it's again mainly Solana and Base that lead retail adoption. And so let's have a look at the data. Let's first see whether or not the social metrics align, or if there's some kind of manipulation here. Let's then dive deeper into the on-chain metrics. Let's have a look at the buyers and sellers to figure out how robust this current rally is. So here is the Twitter account, or the account on the X platform. It's got roughly 2,000 followers, and we've got 19,000 holders on chain. So we can definitely say that the buyers did not come from Twitter. But why am I currently talking about Clanker? The reason is we got a signal, a very early buying signal. Have a look at this here. This is our wallet tracking in premium. And we've got two signals over here. Bankless bought the Clanker token for $29. So that was 4 days ago. And then one more time for close to $53. Now, who is Bankless? Bankless is one of the leading cryptocurrency channels on YouTube. They've got 238,000 subscribers. And when they talk about a small token, of course the token generates some attention. Of course that generates purchases. Of course the price goes up. And so here are those two purchases. This is number one. Since that signal, we are up 235%. And here is number two. Since then, we are up roughly 88%. And so crypto is all about market timing, right? We want to be early. We want to figure out things that most people don't know about. And through on-chain analytics, we are going to look at the analytics of Clanker in a second, but through those methods where we look at buyers and sellers and we look at transfers on-chain, we found 2 of Bankless's wallets. In total, we are now tracking 500 wallets. Now let's have a closer look at those 19,000 holders on-chain, right? Not all of those holders are created equally. Some of them might only hold a few cents, others might hold hundreds of thousands of the token. Let's start off with the number of new versus returning traders per day. And we can see how this comes in waves, right? Sometimes there's a lot of attention, especially on the 12th and 13th of November. We saw a lot of new wallets interacting with the token, and now this is coming up again, starting from the 25th. So just 2 days after Bankless bought the token. We can also see that over time, the ratio of new users versus returning users tends to creep up now. We can ignore the very last data point, by the way, right? Because today has just started. It appears as if now there's still continued adoption. Now, I am a fan of following the smart money, right? I'm a fan of following the people that already have a lot of funds to move around, because the people with a lot of money, they tend to also have profitable trades, right? The more you trade crypto, the better you get. Crypto is both a game of luck and skill, but over time, the luck component cancels each other out and the skill component prevails. The most skilled people will get most funds. And so the whales tend to make, on average, the better calls. That's why I like to look at the number of retail investors versus whale investors over time. Now here we see exactly that. On the left side, we see the number of wallets that have at least 10 Clanker tokens. So at the current price, that's roughly $1,000 worth of the token. For the chart in the middle, we see the number of wallets with 100 Clanker tokens. So that's now $10,000 minimum holding. On the right, we see another 10x in minimum holding. So that's now $100,000 worth of the token. We can clearly see how retail adopts the token very, very fast. The growth is a bit more muted for medium-sized retail, and the wallets that have a lot of money, they tend to take a bit of profit just recently, But in the grand scheme of things, the number of whales is somewhat stable. And that kind of makes sense because the growth by retail is very, very constant. Why would you sell a token unless you've got way too much money in that token if the momentum is still positive? And so again, when we look at the last month, we see that there was the most buyers and sellers yesterday and the day before yesterday. So that's what we are seeing here on the left. So this is now not the trading volume, but just the number of buyers and sellers. It is somewhat balanced, as in most of the days we've got an overhang of maybe 6 percentage points or so of buyers versus sellers, and now simply more attention gets to the token. And of course, this is just the recent data point that still has to fill up. I do expect this to be at similar levels to yesterday and the day before yesterday. Now have a look at those 2 days here. On the 12th, on the 13th, we saw a massive influx of new buyers. A lot of small wallets bought the token. And that was just before the rally started. So if we just take the average price point during that window and we look at the performance up until today, we see an increase of more than 5,000%. The problem is that a lot of people didn't look at the Clanker token at the time. And even us in our community, we got those signals comparatively late, right? This is when Bankless bought. And so I believe we are still rather early in all of this. The trading still happens on chain. So all the data that we looked at today is very reliable. We don't have much trading volume in black boxes, namely the centralized exchanges. The market cap with 100 million isn't large either. And so if Clanker can get the same kind of adoption compared to Pump.fun, then another 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5x is definitely possible. Now, here's the thing. I believe that most upside potential is in the small market cap tokens. And it's especially in the meme coins. Have a look at this. In the last 7 days, what performed the best? It's all meme coins, and it's hundreds of % potentially. We talked about Chill Guy early on this channel. We talked about Bully early on this channel. We also talked about the TITS token early on this channel. So feel free to follow here. Because here's the problem. Once a token rises to a certain market cap, it takes a lot of capital again to double and triple the token. And especially for meme coins that do have a lot of risk, that can easily go down by 50, 60%, you do still want to see the upside potential. And so when the market cap is already pretty high in the billions of dollars, then there is not that much upside potential, but there's still the downside potential. So the risk versus reward isn't that great. Have a look at this. This is the largest meme coins in the last week. Pretty much everything went down. Only Dogecoin went slightly up. So once a meme coin has risen to a certain level, it's time to be cautious. It might make sense to go into the tokens that are not in the billions, but only in the tens of millions, maybe hundreds of millions. But the question is always, how can we pick the right small meme coin, right? There's so many small meme coins. How do we not get burned? And I believe the answer to this is wallet tracking. So the blockchain is 100% transparent. And so once we've got a wallet of a certain influencer, of somebody that moves markets, of somebody that is a top trader, of somebody that did do the right things in the past. Once we have those wallets, we've got a very nice mechanism to filter what to buy and what to sell. Have a look at this. So this is Martini Guy, and he bought the Moon token when it was still at 4066. So that was even before the listing on Radium. So that was directly on the Pump.fun ecosystem platform. When he bought, his position went up by more than 4,000%. Of course, it subsequently collapsed, but that's the idea of trading, right? You don't just want to buy and hold meme coins. Meme coins are a rotation game. You want to be in as long as the momentum is positive, and you want to exit very quickly once that turns around. Have a look at this here. Another alert by the Martini Guy. He bought the Fatties token, again directly on Pump.fun. And again, a very similar development. So the purchase happened directly on the platform. Subsequently, the price went up by 1,680% and then came crashing back down. Now, what's important with buying tokens that early, with tracking other influencers, is that first of all, we have to take profit, but secondly, also we have to be somewhat diversified. We can't bet half of our portfolio on a single bet. This is very risk on. So here again, the Martini Guy. He bought Chippy, and that was at 2022. Here are his purchases. Now it's at 2016. So there are trades that don't necessarily always work out. It is a game of risk versus reward. You want to buy when the upside is still there. You don't want to buy the meme coins that are in the billions of dollars. But when going risk on like this, it's more important than with any other strategy not to lose everything, right? It's important to make small bets every now and then take profit when those make multiple X returns. And so that's why I made several tutorials tutorial videos on the topic, on risk mitigation, on portfolio diversification, of course also on on-chain tracking, etc. Now I've talked about him now often enough, so here is that guy. This is Martini guy. He's got 150,000 subscribers and we track 12 of his wallets. We did this through on-chain analytics. We found out some of his wallets. But check this out. This is Alex Becker's channel. We also track his wallets. He's got 1.5 million subscribers. Now, when he talks about a token, it puts that much attention on the token that of course the price has to rise. We've got also 12 of his wallets. We're also tracking Crypto Banter with 1.1 million subscribers. We've got 33 of their wallets. And so I really believe this is the way to get an edge in crypto. It's not just buying random tokens that are funny, that are in some kind of list of trending tokens. I think it's much more important to follow the insiders. It's to follow the early money. It's to follow the people that have more attention and that can push prices higher. I like this strategy of wallet tracking that much that I made a dedicated tutorial course on just that. So it's 8 videos in total. It's how to find influencer wallets, it's how to track them. It's also how to interpret the signals that we get from the tracking. Once we have a signal, we of course also have to discuss when should we buy, when should we sell. We have to discuss our on-chain analytics. We have to compare what kind of conclusions we come to. That's why we've got our dedicated chats on the individual altcoins as well. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $125 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like premium, in case you don't learn anything, just message me within the first 7 days and I'll refund you 100%. There's really zero risk for you. And so does it still make sense to buy the Clanker token? Possibly, right? There's still quite a bit of upside potential, but there's also the competition with Virtual Protocol. That's also a launchpad of various tokens on the base chain. The question is, what's going to get more attention? What can imitate the success of Pump.fun on Solana and bring this over to the base chain? I personally do think that the upside is justifying the risk. If you got some value out of this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video or see you in premium. Cheers.